So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube? Dow here from Z4 Games, bringing you Pure Nekroz. Yes, update in June 2020. Even though they've been around since June 2015, 16 time. And they've just gone back to near enough full power because Yugioh came back to free, yeah! So, thank you to Carl for helping me build this deck. We've gone with a more pure version. Carl does have like a heavy combo version and a combo or a version cycling around extravagance and incantations as well. But this deck is quite powerful. The way it kind of works is it utilizes a rank 4 toolbox as well as controlling the extra deck and the board a lot more consistently. There's a couple of little spicy techs in here that help you compete with the Adamanticipators and Eldritch as well. With that said and done, please smash the like button, hit the notification bell and subscribe so you do not miss out on anything. Let's get on to today's profile of Nekroz June 2020. So of course, we now play 1, 2, 3. Those slapping sounds onto the board have never sounded so satisfying. That's right, triple Nekroz of Yugioh. It is back to free, baby. What this means for the deck is it actually allows you to utilize his discard effect a lot more. So his discard effect is you discard this and get to add back one of your ritual monsters from the graveyard. Incredibly powerful, very, very useful for the deck as well, and something it has been missing. We also play triple Nekroz of Brionac, just because at free, his on-field effect is incredibly powerful, but you do also want to use and abuse his graveyard effect too, because you want to discard to search, and it kind of gets the loops going. We then have double Nekroz of Valkyries, purely because with Unicorn out free, you can recycle him a lot more consistently, which means you don't have to brick your hand down as well. We've then got double Nekroz of Trishula, arguably could be put a 1, but again, you want to utilise his discard effect to help protect from cards like Impermanence right now as well. He's a little bit weaker than the actual dragon because he has to require in each individual area, so there does need to be a monster in the grave, on the field and in the hand, whereas Trish Dragon can be used turn 0 to just rip one from the hand, whereas this one can't. That being said, still incredibly powerful, very, very useful, and can cause your opponent a heck of a lot of issues. We've then got double Nekroz of Classius, so this one gives you a lot of search potential as well. Plus on the board, he can be quite useful. There's a nice little combo. The way that you want to kind of control the board is like, to clear the board off, you go Brio and Class. To defend the board, you go Class and Yugioh as well. So you just got a lot more to play around with. We've then got double Shirt. You can play it free if you want. We just feel that free is a little bit cloggy, considering you are using reinforcement of the army as well to search him out. You kind of use 1 to search, 1 as discard, 1 as graveyard fodder for your ritual summons. Now, one thing you've got to remember about most of the high-level Nekroz cards is they can't use a specific level 8, level 9 monster to get going, but that's where Kaleidoscope and the extra deck come in clutch. So, we then also play double Manju and double Senju, alongside the one spicy tech card of Dance Princess of Nekroz. So Senju and Manju are quite straightforward and simple. Manju is probably a little bit better, so you can bump him up to 3 if you want. But Dance Princess for Nekroz, why is this so important? I hear you scream. It stops Imperm. It allows you to get a Yugioh on the board to shut down your opponent's double Omni Negates with ease. So the way Dance Princess works is your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Nekroz ritual spell cards. Nekroz ritual monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. The idea is you normal summon Princess. Unless they're going to imperm it or judgment it or just stop the summon completely, you are free to go. You activate Kaleidoscope, you send the Herald, you summon Yugioh. Yugioh straight away, as soon as it hits the board, shuts down the effects of all extra deck monsters. Say goodbye to Appaloosa, say goodbye to Savage Dragon, and say goodbye to Herald. They are not activating their effects. You can then continue to go off. You can then continue to go, alright, great. Activate another ritual spell. Bring out Brionac. Brionac, spin 2 danger cards back. Or activate Trish. Trish, banish one of the cards for me. It works so well. And the fact that you can also be normal summoned to protect from impermanence as well, your opponent will have to open up 2 imperms, go in second, in order to turn her off, and then turn off your Yugioh that is locking them out of the extra deck, or pretty much negating the extra deck monster effects. Hand traps, triple Ash. and double Ogre. The Ogre can be anything like a Crow, a Veiler. I just feel that Ogre is such an underrated card right now and can really, really cause issues the second it's dropped on your opponent, which is why I think it deserves a spot just above Crow. But entirely down to you on the hand trap lineup. Make your mind up as you go. Now, as you can see, we haven't used the incantations in this build purely because we want to actually utilise our extra deck summons a little bit more. So locking ourselves out of the extra deck isn't a great tactic in this particular build. However, if you did want to put them in, you could take out the Dance Princess, you can minimise the Senju and Manju and put in cards more like Extravagance as well, because then you're not relying on the extra deck and it just becomes additional fodder. Onto the spells. Triple Preparation of Rites, broken in this deck right now. Add Bree, add Class, add Yugioh, add back your ritual spells, off you go again. So just think of it this way, so quite simply, you open up, opening hand would have to be pretty good, but if you get this in your opening hand with your Princess and your Yugioh and Kaleidoscope, you normal summon Princess, activate Kaleidoscope, Kaleidoscope summons Yugioh, Yugioh shuts off the board, pre-prep or prep allows you to add Brio, or Yugioh if you want, depending on what your graveyard setup is. Add your Brio, add back the Kaleidoscope, off you go again. You've got a little bit more play and consistency, and you're adding back the materials you need. You've then got triple Call by the Grave. You really want to protect your stuff from ashes. You're doing a lot of discard and search, so you're already negging yourself and then going for a search. So you need to make sure that those effects resolve. You're more worried about Ash because that's the only thing that really stops those effects because they're no longer on the field. But you do also want to try and stop Veilers, and you do also want to try and stop Ogres as well, clearing your cards off once they activate their effects. For the ritual spells, we've got double Mirror, double Cycle, and double Kaleidoscope. Now, Kaleidoscope, in my opinion, is the best and looks the best. The way this works is you get to ritual summon any number of ritual Nekroz monsters by sending from your extra deck or field. So the idea is you can send a level 12 from your extra deck and summon that many Nekroz monsters that adds up to 12. It beats the clause on Trish and Valk because you're not using a specific level 9 or 8. And the way it works is you kind of go, cool, send that, summon down a Valk and a Yugioh, or summon down a Trish and a Class, summon down 2 Brios. It kind of gives you a lot to play with, and it's the best card and looks the best because you've got like Brianak, the Ice Dragon there, Trish Ice Dragon there, and the Gungnir Ice Dragon there. So the artwork, spot on. Cycle allows you to ritual from the grave, and Mirror allows you to use the materials in the grave for the summon, so you get to banish and ritual summon from there. All very, very good. 2s is more than enough of it because you can brick on them, so you do have to be quite careful. The one reinforced from the army, search out that Shurit, off you go. And then Triple Infinite Impermanence, the best hand trap right now because it can be used both first and second, but its effect varies. If you use it on turn 0, great. If you use it on your turn, dropping from your hand, great. If you used it in a set column, even better because then it gains additional effects. So incredibly powerful, can't be stopped by can't be stopped by Call by the Grave. Causes your opponent a heck of a lot of issues. And if you were worried about going the Dance Princess combo, you drop an Imperm on your opponent, they already have to waste a negate. Otherwise, the card you're targeting is taking a negate away from them anyway. And then you could technically normal summon the Princess, beat over Herald, and then make Yugioh or Brio plays. So it does give you a lot of versatility in the deck and gets a lot going for you as well. So that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. We play a lot of synchros, so I'm going to leave them till last, but I'll take you through the XYZ engine first, and then I'll take you through the other minor engines that we play on top of that. So we play a rank 4 toolbox of Daguerres, Daigusta Emerald, and Abyss Dweller. You can play the Exector rank 6 if you want to as well, just to give you a little bit more options. But the way this works is you've got Daigusta Emerald, you're putting a lot in the graveyard, so you want to be able to cycle them back and draw a card as well. And that just allows you to loosen up on the reserve behind dropping all your cards from the hand as well. Abyss Dweller, in my opinion, is the best rank 4 floating around right now, just because it shuts off the graveyard. So that can really hurt like Blot Dragons, it can really hurt your Eldritch as well. And now that we know that we're in this format all the way up until September, dealing with the graveyard is quite important right now. Daguerres, the way that Daguerres works is quite nice. It can also be replaced with Elder Entity Nyala. And the way Nyala worked is you would make Yugioh, get 2 Unicorns, make a rank 4 play, detach them, bring the Herald back, and then detach or get rid of the Herald or link it off, and the Herald will go to grave and give you a search. Daguerres, there is a combo that Carl will show you in his other one, or we'll have a look into or link it. But the way it works is you do your Despot combo, go through Halifibrax, go into Auroradon, make 2 Heralds instead, overlay them into the Daguerreoths, detach both of those to get either a draw or the attack or the summon, and then the Heralds will give you 2 searches as well. And I think your board ends on like double Omni Negate plus a Christia as well. So it's just another route you can go with, but regardless, Daguerreoths is a very, very good rank 4 right now as well for the draws or the summon, just to kind of help extend your plays, or even doubling up to go for the kill. We've then got 2 Unts. Now the way this works is exactly a bit more aggressive than the Kaleidoscope Herald play to get into your Unicorn. You go Kaleidoscope and pop a card, being a bit more aggressive that route as well. So for example, if you didn't want to get the search or you didn't need the search off a Kaleidoscope, you go Kaleidoscope into Unicorn with your Dance Princess locking out your opponent's extra deck, or their effects. You then go to pop a card, clear it off, and then you can make a Brio and clear off the rest. So it just gives you a lot of board clear capabilities. Another kind of cool tech that we don't technically play in this one because we don't use the incantations, but if you do, I highly advise either siding it, is Nekroz or Sophia, just to kind of shut your opponent out of the extra deck. And the other one is the Mega Monarch Zaborg. Because the way that works is you'd make 2 incantations, you would tribute those off for the Zaborg. Zaborg would tribute himself, and then you would send 8 cards from your extra deck and 8 cards from your opponent's extra deck, and you would choose to the graveyard. So if you wanted to be aggressive, you'd send the Unts. If you want to be defensive, you would send a Toad, Omega, and Triple Herald every time, because then you'd get Triple Search of the Herald. Omega would recycle one of the Heralds. Toad would recycle maybe a class or any kind of your ritual... water monsters, which is any of your ritual monsters that have been sent to the graveyard as discard follower, and it just gives you a bit more versatility and a bit more control. The only issue with that is it does require you to go first, so it's more of a side deck option than a main deck, more so if you're using the incantations. We've then got the one Nephthys, the Sacred Flame. This is basically just your boss monster from the extra deck, so if there's anything on the board you can't deal with, this will get it done. So it requires 2 monsters including a ritual monster. It gains the additional effects depending on the number of ritual monsters used for its link summon. 1, can't be destroyed by battle. 2, can't be destroyed by card effect and gains 1200 attack. 3, neither player can target this card with card effects, also gains another 1200 attack. So if you use 3 ritual monsters to make him, he'll be 48, can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by both battle and card effect. So he becomes an incredibly powerful boss monster that your opponent may struggle to deal with. Again, this extra is just more controlled. If you were going for like an Extravagance or a Mega Monarch Zaborg play, you'd probably bounce these up to like 3s of these cards that you really, really rely on. Moving on to the Synchros, of course, we play these only for the levels. So this can be any level 12. And the way this works is you would actually send... So this can get you into a Trish and a class because it's level 12 and it will count for that. It can get you into a Unicorn and a Valk as well. So it really depends on what ratios you want to go with. You're also using a level 11, a level 10, and a level 9. Again, these can be any level 11s, 10s, or 9s, entirely up to you. These just give you access to different variations to the board. So obviously this one can be a class and a Valk. This one could be a Unicorn and a Brio. This could be a Brio and a class. But you can kind of see where like a Kaleidoscope sending this can get you a Unicorn plus a Brio and with a Dance Princess, kind of goes, yeah, I'm turning off your effects, I'm going to spin your effects, and I'm going to clear off the rest. So you can kind of see why this is so powerful and why I think Kaleidoscope is the best ritual spell. Brionac, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, just the direct for Brio himself. I just kind of like it. It can be any level 6, but just be able to go, literally play into the lore of going Kaleidoscope this into Brio, kind of just feels right. Then the most important ritual monster in your extra deck is Herald. So this would be the biggest hit coming off of the kind of like Synchro Climb plays that are currently going on. If this was to get hit, it would really, really suck. But the way this works is just a simple Kaleidoscope into Unicorn, send this, you get a search. You maintain one of your resources, you get one of your resources back. And if you go for the rank 4 plays as well, if you also go for the Zaborg play, it can kind of give you a bit more versatility, a bit more action to go with it as well, and it is the most important. And then we've just got the one level 3, straight direct Kaleidoscope from this into your class, just to kind of get him on the board. So it gives you a bit of versatility, doesn't need to be used. The extra deck is entirely up to you. The only thing you need to worry on or the levels, or the choice of your cards is the levels, but then obviously Herald is a staple. Everything else depends on the type of build you're playing. If you're playing Extravagance, you'd bump some of these up to 3s, like your 12s and your 11s or your 10s, depending on what kind of ratios or what kind of boards you want to build. And then you'd go for your rank 4 engine as well, and kind of move it that way. The incantations and Zaborgs and kind of stuff like that, you'd also put in Toads, Omegas. It really depends on which angle you want to go with. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for the 99.99999% power of Nekroz. All they are missing is having that Djinn of Ritual back, which I highly doubt will ever happen because that card is broken, to kind of make this a little bit more busted. But regardless, still incredibly powerful, still incredibly useful, and do not sleep on the deck. It can put some work out, and it will be one to watch in an upcoming format or even in this current format. So we'll soon see. I hope this helped. I hope this gave you a couple of ideas. Please, as always, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe so you do not miss out on anything further. With that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, as always, until next time, happy dueling.